Hey, what's up guys? It's the Nightwing Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video, here to talk about the LCS Spring Split 2020 Week 9 thoughts and opinions. There were so many narratives to follow this week. Can TL make it to the playoffs? Can Immortals at least win one game to clinch playoffs if they actually manage to win a game? There was also, what other playoff team is at least caliber enough to take down Cloud9? And also, this is only part 1 because a lot of great things happened today. Upsets between the Saturday and Sunday play, and no Monday Night League has not returned yet, even though I wanted to. There are going to be tiebreaker games for second and also the last spot going into the playoffs. That's actually crazy how so evenly matched a lot of these teams are. And going into this week, Cloud9 is going to have their star-studded rematch against Team Liquid because a lot of stupid people, were making excuses for TL because the reason why they lost back in week 1, they had Surnfire, Broxa wasn't there, oh it's week 1, it doesn't count, TL wasn't playing that well. A lot of the excuses a lot of people like to give, so I even said, hey, whatever, you can make up whatever excuse you want to make up to make yourself feel better, but now you have the rematch against Cloud9 versus Team Liquid, and if they lose this time around, is what I was going to actually say, they're just better. Now, let's start this week off, and it kicked off on Saturday with the 100 Thieves versus TSM. TSM being touted as the second best team in the North American LCS in a contention with FlyQuest. TSM at the very start of the week gets to show off why they are the second best team. Now, did this game deliver on a lot of different senses? Now, I think this game was very back and forth. I mean, it was in TSM's favor to win this game. TSM draft the Aatrox, Jarvan, Azir, Varus, and Tahm Kench. They love the Varus Tahm Kench bot lane because Kabe and Biofrost are not a carry bot lane. They're more of a serviceable bot lane that never really loses. They always go even. Bjergsen on the Azir, it's one of his all-time best champions in my own personal opinion. Dardoch being on a early aggressive pick like Jarvan, though they haven't really given him a lot of carry junglers. We know TSM isn't really more fond of the carry jungler-oriented style, and Broken Blade being on Aatrox is really good. A lot of people have been basically misplacing a lot of the Aatrox bans and picks in the draft phase, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, if you're watching the LEC and you watch LCK or the LPL, they really dictate where the Aatrox can be actually played. Either you're gonna ban it the very first game around and then wait to play it again, or you just literally pick it first rotation for your top laner because it's such a strong pick. Around 9 minutes in, the game starts off with Broken Blade getting ganked by Meteos and Someday. Broken Blade tries to evade, but, inevitably ends up dying. Meteos also ends up dying, and you also have, Someday doing really well on the Orin pick. Broken Blade and Meteos die around 9 minutes in. Cody-Sun gets the push off in the bot lane, and then after that, all hell starts to break loose around the Dragon Pit going into around 18 minutes in. Sorry about that. 100 Thieves and TSM start fighting. I think TSM had the better comp in general, but they were really kind of mis-executing very small things. They weren't really playing bad per se. It was more or less so. It was very, very, very back and forth because you have 100 Thieves composition, which was Orin, Trundle, Victor, Aphelios, and Nautilus. We know people love either the Tahm Kench Varus, the Misfortune Nautilus, or the Aphelios Nautilus. Some of the most common bot lanes from North America. And then you have TSM obviously getting the Ocean Dragon for the Soul at around 18 minutes in. Then after that, it leads into the Baron Pit for a fight where Bjergsen even picks up a pentakill. And at that part, you're thinking to yourself, holy crap, are they going to actually win this game off the back of a Bjergsen pentakill? I mean, Bjergsen's only had, 2 pentakills ever at this current point in time in the LCS, and getting a third one was like, alright, Bjergsen's back, baby, and a faker. And then at around 30 minutes in, TSM have a fight. Dardoch gets extremely chunked out by the Chaos Storm from Ryoma. Stunt flashes in for a Nautilus hook trying to get Bjergsen, but he ends up flashing away. And then 100 Thieves starts fighting their way back in this game. This was a pretty back and forth game. I don't agree with people when they were saying it was all TSM. It really wasn't. It was a pretty back and forth game, but when TSM got the Baron and Bjergsen got his pentakill, you really thought the game was TSM's. And then Around 40 minutes in, Hunter Thieves start making a comeback. They start getting a lot of picks, and they end up taking Baron at 40 minutes in. And then later on, they push into the base. The late game composition of Victor, Aphelios, Orin, and Nautilus, and having Trundle to really set up some zoning really did work for them. Cody Sun was flashing in aggressively, like you know him to do, and he was literally deleting people. And then you had Ryoma on the Victor, dealing safe damage. 100 L's, nope, 100 wins. Get the week off started with the win against TSM, and then you have, which is the actual C9 versus the budget, not good, not considered C9, but in the offseason, people were like, oh, Ichi is more C9 than actual C9. Get the fuck out of here. Stop. Just stop. Literally, just stop. No, the only C9 is the Cloud9 that we have. Evil Geniuses are their own team. Just because Cloud9 let Evil Geniuses buy their players doesn't mean Evil Geniuses are more Cloud9 than actual Cloud9. That is just retarded for people to say. But we had Cloud9 facing off against Evil Geniuses. Cloud9 have been the most dominant team of the regular season, and Evil Geniuses were actually on a 5-game win streak coming into this game. Evil Geniuses, you probably think, have a good shot at beating Cloud9. EG draft the Renekton, Lee Sin, Kale. Bang has the Kaisa. We have really not seen Kaisa too much in the LCS or anywhere after her nerfs. And you have Zazel on his famous Nautilus playmaking champion. C9, love the draft phase they've been having so far. Licorice gets Quinn, and then after that they have Gragas, Orin, and Aphelios Shen. Vulcan played really extremely well this week. I know his KDA is not going to really reflect that, but in the games he was playing absolutely insane. He's only really had one bad game, and that was that Leona game against TSM, where TSM handed Cloud on their first loss, and then around, let's say, 4 minutes in, the first fight breaks out. You have C9 getting the first upper hand against EG, and also the Shen grabbing first blood. It's a pretty scattered back and forth team fight. Niski is on Orin duty, and then he flashes over the wall. Bang gets the kill, and you have Sven just constantly dealing damage on the Aphelios, and you love when Aphelios gets all this free isolated space. Vulcan was landing taunt after taunt after taunt after taunt, shielding Sven, giving him the room to actually get all these kills. He starts the game off getting a bunch of kills and starting off really strong and being able to back with a lot of gold, going back to the lane and doing really strong. Licorice doesn't even join the fight, and C9 wins a 4v5, and Licorice also gets to push in the top lane. People love playing the ADCs in top lane at certain points in the meta because you get the chance to actually really stop a actual melee champion, because most top laners are pretty melee outside of the ranged ones that are insanely strong during various patches like Chase and champions like Vayne top lane that's actually traditionally sometimes very good. And the fact that Cloud9 could win literally 4v5s without Licorice there proves how strong of a team in coordination they actually are. And then later on, it's pretty much just a shit stomp, you know, for Cloud9. They pretty much start railing Kumo's Renekton. After that, he starts to fall down to 0-2. Blabber is actually popping off this game. I think this was his best game of the split so far with how he actually played this game. He wasn't necessarily KSing, but, you know, it's always kill secured. By 14 minutes in, it's 7-3. It's a 4,000 goldie for Cloud9. And then basically, Twitch chat is spamming, how did teams lose to these guys? And I have to agree with Twitch chat. How did people lose to this team? They really aren't that good. And in playoffs, they will be getting more exposed. And I'll be being right, as I consistently am. Licorice starts to solo Kumo, and then Licorice is about to die towards the gank that Sven Skaren is going to set up with Kumo baiting. Licorice evades, flashes, and then after that, most of the C9 boys start collapsing in the top quadrant of the map. After that, they have another team fight where actually they pick off Kumo, and then they start to set up for Baron, and then later on after that, we know what Cloud9 likes to do. Get Baron in the game, they start picking off the base, they get the dragon, and then after that, they set up to actually win the game. Later on towards the later into the game, Jizuke, you didn't even notice he was even in the game with his freaking Kale mid lane. I think EG literally took a page out of TSM's drafting book and asked them, hey, do you pick Kale to troll or do you pick Kale to win? I think if you pick Kale either mid or top right now, you're basically forfeiting your match. That's my own personal opinion about that. Later on, C9 get another Drake. They're literally almost 10,000 gold ahead, and at this point, Blabber gets 2 more kills. He's 9-0 on the Gragas, his best game of the split. I don't think he's the MVP, but he did play really well this game. The next matchup of the day is FlyQuest versus TL, and most TL fans going into this match know, they absolutely know there is a chance you can beat FlyQuest, because FlyQuest do this thing constantly every single split, and I had to really think about it, and I went like, oh my god, FlyQuest started off really strong this split. They were second place, pretty much solid with TSM, kind of neck and neck with them. Then it dawned on me today, FlyQuest is still doing that. They start the split really strong because a lot of the better teams with better players haven't gelled yet, and then now we can kind of see they're really not that strong outside of Power of Evil and Ignar. Now, I will say, Solo did play pretty well this week so far. FlyQuest, you probably think it's yourself, could lose to TL. I mean, TL was showing a little bit of signs of life in their game against FlyQuest in general, but you start going to yourself thinking, God, holy moly, damn, what are these drafts? And they're actually pretty good. Not gonna lie. FlyQuest draft the Aatrox, Trundle, Syndra, and you get the Lovers bot lane with Wild Turtle and Ignar. Wild Turtle has severely performed really insanely well on the Xayah. Most of their wins come from him playing Xayah, and you have Power of Evil on a control mage, Ignar on a roaming support. You thinking to yourself, they gave FlyQuest comfort. TL draft the Renekton, Rek'Sai, Zoe, Kalista, and Taric. Now, the Taric Kalista bot lane comes from Korea with, what was the one team playing that? There was one team playing the Kalista, no, sorry, it came from the LEC. Mad Lions were playing that with the bot lane they were actually doing, because when they ever got Kalista Taric, it was GG around 20 minutes in. Impact dies 2 minutes and 15 seconds in to the same type of gank he has died to so many games this split. I mean, he dies literally so much to this. The jungler goes from red to wolves to top lane ganking him consistently. I mean, he has died to the exact same gank so many times, and you figure with Impact on an early aggressive champion, because he has kind of played carries a lot better moving forward past his part where he couldn't play carries back in 2018, you're thinking to yourself, okay, TL can still win this game. Top lane's not that much of a carry role. Well, FlyQuest start winning with another couple of picks. Wild Turtle's getting pretty ahead on the Xayah. Doublelift is still doing pretty well. Most of TL didn't really play that badly this week. I know a lot of people are going to say that Impact played pretty badly. There was this fight around the Dragon Pit where he's just kind of running around, but I'll have to go and actually see what people are talking about. So, at around 19 minutes in, it's 3-1. FlyQuest is about 2,000 gold ahead. They start to kind of fight, but then later on, FlyQuest get the dragon. They don't really have the advantage to actually fight in this moment, and then later on, the game is more or less so escalating. FlyQuest is winning around the map. They're getting a lot of game pressure around turrets, around the objectives. They're taking all the Scuttle Crabs, so you know where most of the other TL players are. Solo is doing pretty well in this week so far. I really liked what he was putting out. Impact is really far behind on the Renekton. I mean, 0-3-0. Doublelift was playing pretty well, all things considered, and then it hits to this fight right here, where a lot of people were criticizing Impact around 30 minutes in. You had, well, it's hard to say. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So around 20 minutes in and 59 seconds, they're having a little skirmish. Skill shots are being dodged. Basically, TL are setting up to take Dragon. Doublelift gets in front of the Dragon and starts obviously rending it. Obviously, with Kalista, it's easier to take Baron and Dragons with her rend, right? Alright, so TL get into a position where they could literally kill Santorin, but they don't. FlyQuest get the better flank. Ignar's coming from a side where he could basically ult Umbercon and start knocking at people. Impact gets inside the Dragon Pit and kind of is just walking around doing nothing. I mean, watching this, I was like, what is he doing? Get in! Flash! Something. He doesn't have flash at this moment. Neither TP. He just gets in there, slices and dices over the pit, and most of TL just start dying. And I'm really thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? And I mean, what is this gameplay? Like, I think people are gonna break down why he was doing what he was doing, but that's what it looks like. It literally looks like he's just running around doing nothing. I mean, I might be wrong, I might be right. I'm not a genius, obviously, Doublelift does get a nice shutdown onto Santorin, but they flash on him, killing him. After that, FlyQuest start winning the fight, and then you have Jensen obviously in a position where he still could carry. I mean, he's dealing a lot of damage on the Zoe. He almost gets the kill onto Ignar after choking him out with a Sleepy Trouble bubble. But then Wild Turtle uses the Feathers Fly and pulls it back, and then that definitely scares him away from taking the kill. That's the biggest thing about this match. A lot of people were complaining about was why he was running around in a circle, not helping his team fight. He was obviously getting peeled off from the FlyQuest members. I mean, if he does engage, at least if he gives his life, that gives Doublelift more room to obviously carry. TL take a really bad opportune time to recall with their bot lane, but then they don't, and they end up going towards Baron because they know they're going to take Baron. They have control wards in the pit, and they see FlyQuest doing it. Impact is basically running like Sonic to get over there. But FlyQuest's comp can easily take Baron with the Xayah, Syndra, and a Trundle. Then you also have Ignar, who flashes away from Doublelift's Callista, and then later on, they don't even start the Baron. They just automatically start fighting. And then after that, you have Syndra taking out holy crap. You have Power People getting a double kill onto Jensen and Doublelift. And obviously Wild Turtle has been doing really well on the Xayah all game long, and then he has been making an insanely amount of pressure that has been putting TL into a bad spot. TL didn't play that bad, but their communication bad, and it's really not showing in this game. And after watching this game, I thought to myself, TL is done. I mean, what Doublelift said before about their issues and having no leader, it's like, okay, are they really done? Because I really thought that personally. FlyQuest end up killing Broxa, and then they obviously win the game, putting themselves at a position where they are literally and at this point they were 10-7 actually. The next game up is CLG versus Golden Guardians, and Golden Guardians, you know, they had a bad week last week. I mean, it was pretty horrible from them. And then this game was fairly slow. Around 3 minutes in, there are 3 kills. CLG draft for Nectin, Sejuani, Pobelter is on the Quirky. We haven't seen Quirky in quite a bit of time actually. The bot lane is Ezreal and Tom Kench. Pretty safe for CLG's really bad bot lane. Then you have Golden Guardians with Aatrox, Jarvan, Silas, and Varus, and Ziggs. Obviously, Huhi was playing really well this week, and I honestly think that if Golden Guardians went with Huhi instead of Keith at the very first part of the season, it would have actually boded well for them in terms of playoff seeding, because it's not like they're horrible. It's more or less so they don't have the caliber of players that are insanely strong to push them toward that next level. It's kind of like with teams like FlyQuest and Golden Guardians. It's not that they're actually that bad. It's just more or less so the caliber of players really does make the difference. Golden Glue starts having a skirmish with CLG's mid side, and he dies. Closer gets the kill onto Pobelter, and then you have Wiggly getting the trade kill back onto those two, giving him a double kill. This was actually a pretty good game by CLG. Later on, it's just farming. CLG obviously get another trade kill onto Pobelter after a gank, and then later on you have more farming, more taking objectives. I think the Ziggs pick for who he was really insanely strong. I also think that when you really see what they were actually doing, Golden Guardians were trying to diversify themselves into a team that can play different styles. I think Golden Glue still was playing primarily weak this game, and then around the point where they got a Rift Herald, Golden Guardians pick off Wiggly, and then Haunter gets to kill Pobelter, and then at this point in the game, you're thinking to yourself, oh my god, Golden Guardians, are they going to actually start getting some wins to make it into playoffs? And it's like, yeah, let's go. So after that, more picks, more team fights. They're at 17 minutes in. It's literally a 4,000 gold lead. They get another Drake, and then after that, they get to a point where they're starting to maximize their advantage. Later on, they go to the Baron pit. They start up the Baron, and then after that, they get another Dragon. Actually, CLG get the Dragon. Sorry about that. And then later on, Golden Guardians start pushing into the base. They are insanely far ahead. This composition from Golden Guardians is, I think, their best ideal composition, being something that they can actually play with and actually have a lot more flexibility. It seems like they can be flexible from what I saw right here, but it has to be in little subtle picks like Silas and Ziggs, but that's fine. That's all you need to get ahead in the draft, is to have little nice subtle picks that can throw the other enemy composition off. I personally think the Corki was a troll pick, and yeah, Golden Guardians advanced to 7-10. Last game of the day is the shittish It's the shittiest game I have ever watched in my life. I am not kidding. I have not seen a game this bad in a while. Alright, so 17 minutes in. There's no kills between IMT versus Dig. The narrative of this game is if IMT win at least one game today, Saturday or today, they get to clinch playoffs. No playoffs at all for Golden Guardians, Dig, or TL. One game. You have to win one game. IMT draft Orin, Pantheon, Syndra, Ezreal, and Tom Kench. Dig's composition is Mordekaiser, Olaf, Orianna, Aphelios, and Nautilus. So, around 17 minutes in, the most action that happens is literally a Rift Herald about to take the mid turret. It doesn't do it, and then you're still fighting, having little small maybe fights here and there. After that, around 20 minutes in, nothing still happens. It's like, bro, I could literally go outside, smoke crack, and then I would have more enjoyment than watching this game. IMT finally get a kill. They get a dragon. They kill Xmithy. Xmithy on the Pantheon looked fairly uncomfortable for the pick. IMT, despite that pick onto Xmithy, start winning the game. Around 25 minutes in, they have a dive on Aphromoo. They get the kill onto him. They get Apollo going on his Ezreal. I think Apollo's best champion is Ezreal for ADC, and I think he's actually been playing pretty well this split. IMT start to establish more map pressure. They start to get more damage onto the turrets that they can get damage on. I know you have Froggen split pushing on Orianna, but I think the best Dig compositions go with Aphromoo playmaking support. Then you have Froggen on a control mage, and you have Huni on a top laner that doesn't literally make them int. And the game fast forwards, and now this is the best thing to happen for Immortals. They actually start winning team fights. They are now winning a team fight closer to what is when they actually start winning. So it's around 28 to 29 minutes in. They kill off Aphromoo again because Aphromoo just loves face checking and dying. And IMT are in a prime position to win this game. You're thinking to yourself, alright, IMT's in a lockup playoffs. Bye-bye TL. Actually, IMT start losing. IMT start losing when they were in prime position to win 3,000 gold lead. Dignitas start fighting at Baron Pit. Aphromoo gets a hook onto the back line. Soaz dives in with Orin. Apollo starts chunking them. Ica gets a trade kill onto Aphromoo. And then Immortals are like, well, I think it's our turn to actually take the Baron. They actually do get Baron. They get more kills. And at this point in the game, I'm thinking to myself, all right, it's a done deal. Immortals get to go in the playoffs, right? Around 40 minutes in, it's 10-3. IMT have a 7,000 gold lead. I shit you not. They have a 7,000 gold lead. The part where they start to make a comeback is when Soaz tries to get a nice flank onto the enemy team. Froggen lands up the perfect shockwave. Aphromoo, KSing support, gets a double kill. And at this point, you're like, alright, IMT, you probably should end the game right now. Because this is a part in your solo queue games where you're thinking to yourself, is there a chance we can really lose this? And that's the kind of game that I was thinking about. So, later on during the match, Dignitas start fighting back. They start actually maximizing their composition's best strength, which I think is wave clear with the Orianna, with the Mordekaiser, with the Aphelios. Now, later on during the game, Dignitas start actually winning team fights. And you're thinking to yourself, alright, this is not, no one can throw this hard. No one throws this hard. Like, I swear, if anybody throws this hard, they literally must play football, because there's no way this even conceivably happens that you are at least 9,000 gold ahead and you cannot win a game. That is unbelievably horrible. There is just no excuse for that. You know what I mean? You literally just threw. Dignitas, around at 50 minutes in, start the Elder Dragon. Both sides have, a point where they could literally almost backdoor with how they're positioning around the map. Apollo starts moving up to backdoor. Actually, he starts to prep the minion wave, use the True Shot Barrage to take out the big cannon minion and the wave. Dignitas get the Elder Dragon, actually. And then, fight breaks out. Huni puts, what's his name? Xmithy into the Shadow Realm and kills him. Huni actually is zoning pretty well on the Mordekaiser, despite him not playing really well all game, being 1-6, 2.5 million. Just to go 1-6. And then Froggen obviously goes back early on, enough to stop Apollo from getting the back door. Acadian tries to fight onto Apollo, but Ezreal is so darn there's so much mobility into Ezreal around 50 minutes in with his true shot barrages, his Qs, his mystic shots, and his E, where he can basically has a built-in flash in his kit. Later on, back and forth team fights. Dignitas at the Baron Pit get another fight. Ica gets a nice Syndra ball stun, blow his whole load on his team. He dies to the Aphelios. Johnson is now popping off. It's Aphelios at 50 minutes in. It's a triple kill for Johnson. They get the Baron. Now this game is basically dead even. Oh my, I've never seen a game this bad, actually. This game is horrible. Good lord. Literally, it's dead even at this point. 50 minutes in, dead even. 83,000 gold to 82,000 gold. Oh my god. It was a 9,000 gold lead. It was 10-3. It was literally 10-3. Later on, another team fight breaks out. And then you have basically Apollo running up towards Dig's base in order to end. You get a point where they're fighting once again. Hakuo gets killed by Aphelios. Aphelios basically at 55 minutes in is GG for any other team. Xmithy tries to zone off Acadian and Huni, but it doesn't work. And then Soaz goes back in order to defend the base. They lose a Nexus turret. Apollo and Aka go for the mid lane turret, and then they start hitting the inhibitor. Now, this is the point where you're actually thinking to yourself, what's going to really happen? You have Alphamu and Johnson going down there. Aka kills Huni, and you're like, okay, IMT, you got this game if only Soaz can defend. But it's Aphelios at 56 minutes in. You think to yourself, can Soaz defend this? He can't, and he actually ends up dying to Aphelios before he can even get back to the fountain. And IMT lose to Dignitas in a game they were winning. They were 9,000 gold ahead. 9,000 gold ahead. Starting off day 2, we have Golden Guardians versus FlyQuest, and FlyQuest could cement themselves as a second place team with this win, but you guys know FlyQuest, always the go-getters or what's the other word I'd use? No. They're basically, yeah, that's what they are. Holy crap. So, around the game starts, you have some pretty decent compositions. Golden Guardian drafts the Orin, Rek'Sai, Zoe, Aphelios, and Nautilus. FlyQuest grab a pretty weird composition, all things considered. They grab Alistar, which is for Ignar, Misfortune, Victor, Trundle, and Renekton. Viper's actually back in over Solo, and that's pretty interesting because I think Solo played really well in the past couple of days, for FlyQuest over these past couple of weeks. Sorry, I said days. These past couple of weeks for FlyQuest. Sorry about that. And yeah, this game is getting pretty much into Golden Guardian's hands. They're playing a lot of comfort. You have Golden Ghoul on a control mage where he can sizably do some damage. Closer's on an early game aggressive jungler pick, which is what I like. You have Huhi on a playmaking support like Nautilus, which is pretty good for him. I think if you give some of these lower tier teams really good compositions where it's comfort for them, you could really see where they start to excel at. Rift Herald gets summoned at 10 minutes in, and it gets a nice little charge onto the turret for Golden Guardians. And if FlyQuest win this game, they are undoubtedly in play. Well, for how the seeding is going to work, second place. Viper played pretty well this game, all things considered. And then it's basically, the gold lead is mildly ahead in Golden Guardians favor at 2,000. Later on, you have Viper and Haunter having a 1v1, and actually it doesn't really go anywhere because it's, Orin versus Renekton, and you think to yourself, god damn, tanks are OP. And yeah, Viper gets a nice little press the attack off onto Haunter, but then later on, Golden Glue and Haunter bait Viper. Viper has to flash at 14 minutes in, leaving the top lane open where Golden Guardians can get another push off towards that, while Turtle is safely farming on the Misfortune. He's actually performed pretty well on the Misfortune. Santorin gets the Dragon around 16 minutes in. Later on, we have another fight. Closer starts it off. Ignar gets a 3-man pulverize on his Alistar, and then later on, it's 2 kills for Huhi. And then after that, it is almost pretty much secured that Golden Guardians win the game. They get a Baron at 22 minutes in. Basically, getting a 20-minute Baron is most likely GG for a lot of teams. No pun intended, obviously. After that, FlyQuest are supremely stuck in their base, and, you know, it's looking like this composition is not really something they practice a lot, because you think putting on Ignar on a playmaking support like Alistar, it would be something that would actually be really good for them. Viper tries, split pushing. It doesn't really go too well because they're just too far behind. It's that thing where you do as a top laner where you kind of split push until they really answer you, and then your team loses like 2 inhibitors and like, well, GG, top difference. Later on, the game is pretty sealed. Golden Guardians 2-0 this week to have a shot at fighting playoffs. And what I forgot to mention before was that since Dig got their upset win over Immortals, that means it gives life to TL Golden Guardians to make playoffs in general. And the next game of the day is TSM versus Dignitas. Dignitas feeling real good after that comeback win they had against IMT. Comeback or shit game, pick your poison, honestly. TSM draft the Set, Sejuani, Azir, and you get the Yuumi, Ezreal bot lane. I think that was really good from them. Dignitas' composition is Orin, Lee Sin, Victor, Aphelios, Tom Kench, like a lot of these NA teams like to use. TSM, I mean, this week going 0-2, I mean, they're really inconsistent. I mean, looking at this game, I was thinking to myself, holy motherfucking shit, these teams are both literally inconsistent. Dignitas is, having comeback 50-minute wins. TSM is winning games and then, like, throwing it mid-game. Name a more iconic duo at that point. So, at this point in the game, they get a Rift Herald for Dignitas. They're actually playing pretty well. I think Kabe played pretty well, all things considered. And then you have a fight toward the 14-minute mark. Nope, it's just another load of farming. I think Yuumi is still a really strong pick for a lot of teams. They get a pick off onto Johnson at around 14 minutes in, giving first blood to Kabe, who's actually looked pretty solid this split. Nothing spectacular, but he's looked pretty solid. And then later on toward the part of the game where I think it basically opened up was around mid lane, where Rift Herald was charging and TP comes in from Broken Blade. Froggen gets a nice flank onto Kabe and Broken Blade, and now with him zoning off the portion of damage from TSM with the Yuumi, Broken Blade ends up dying, and then Yuumi is literally the squishiest champion when she is not inside of somebody. Yeah, that pussycat is gone. Dignitas actually in a commanding lead and actually look better with the Cadian because he is just the better jungler. TSM tried to get a little bit of damage onto Huni, but he's on Orin duty because seeing him go 1-6 on Mordekaiser was probably not something you want to spend 2.5 million just to have your top laner go 1-6. Alright, so later on during the game, you obviously have the gold lead completely in Dig's favor. It's 7-1. TSM's late game composition really can't get a hold on. Later on, Dig is just prepping all their waves. You guys know how Froggen likes to do it. Be in a side lane, push it, get the minions back, get his items, make sure he's really strong for the 1v1. It's basically just a Dig game, all things considered. They fight inside of the little choke corridor where you're actually at the red side's red buff, that little area where everyone likes to kind of flank. And then after that, a team fight starts. Froggen gets 2 kills, and then you have Huni flashing in, and randomly, just randomly, because Yuumi is so broken, randomly, Biofrost gets a kill onto Lee Sin. Doesn't matter at all with Set, Sejuani, and Azir, Bjergsen, Broken Blade, and Dardoch, the best players on TSM, with them all dead. It is basically an easy win for Dig. Dignitas have their best week since week 3 of the LCS. Yes, since like week 3 or 2, this is their best week so far. And the Acadian for Grig situation proves to always be better. Let this narrative stand. If you have Grig and Acadian and you start Grig first, Acadian will always be the much better player, and he should deserve the starting spot after all this. Evil Geniuses versus Immortals. So if Immortals wins this game, they can still clinch playoffs. Hey, it's all safe, right? Yesterday happened, we threw a game, let's mentally reset and come back. Well, IMT, did you know that Evil Geniuses love their comfort picks? Because what happened? Did IMT basically give EG their comfort? Kind of. They gave Jizuke his Rise. And once they gave Jizuke his Rise, I think Jizuke is the best Rise in the North American LCS by how he plays, how he split pushes, how he gets the game rolling. And this game basically did not look good for Immortals. They were not playing the exact same way. You can tell they were mentally tilted from throwing the game in Saturday. So as was on the Aatrox, and you have the rest of the composition as it flows out. Jarvan, Victor, Varus, and what's the guy's name? Rakan. EG was playing Set, Pantheon, Ryze, Philios, and Braum. Thy heart is the strongest muscle. Alright, so around 11 minutes in, EG already have 2 kills. You have Bang and Jizuke getting early kills on their champions that they played really well and excelled on. You have a portion of the game where IMT does take Dragon, and I mean, if it does go to like 50 minutes in, I think IMT's composition had a chance to win this game. But I think this game was all EG. EG showed that they still can play really well. They did lose to Cloud9, but I mean, Cloud9 is the best team in the league, so it's pretty understandable when you lose to them. But I don't still believe EG is that good. I think a lot of these teams have been just performing insanely worse as the split has been moving forward. They do get a turret 60 minutes in for IMT, but Bang gets another kill. He's just ramping up the kills on the Aphelios. Later on, it's Dragons for EG, and then after this portion, there's a nice little fight in the choke point towards the side where EG is on, where you can see that Jizuke is getting massively, really far ahead on the Ryze by 28 minutes in. He is 4-0-4. Death Cap, Hourglass. I mean, this guy is insanely strong. I think he is the best Ryze in the North American LCS by how he's been actually playing it. And then around 29 minutes in, they start to fight. And then you pile into a choke point with Ryze. Not something you want to do. It is all EG. And step 1 is get to playoffs for EG. And step 2 is obviously almost secure a playoff spot, which they did already. And then IMT, there's chances of making playoffs is really, really short after this game. After this, EG is too far ahead. They're literally too far ahead. And then it's a 10,000 gold lead. Remember to ban Ryze against Jizuke. If you do not ban Ryze against Jizuke, you will give a free game in playoffs. EG improved to 10-8. IMT. Now with this gets off a 4-way tiebreaker. Oh my god, hear this actually. Holy crap. Hold on. Oh, I forgot. The audio's not playing. You guys couldn't hear what I was playing. That's why I was saying, like, oh my god. Hold on. So, basically, after that, you have to factor in IMT is done mentally. So has Xmithy. They're done. They're like, alright, this team sucks. We can't carry these people. You can't carry Aka. It's just not gonna work. So, basically, EG winning this game means that there is now a 4-way tie between like second and getting into playoffs in general. So thank you, IMT, for not winning one game, and your one game was secured. Holy crap. Now, you have the all-star studded game that everybody wanted to talk about. Everybody wanted to trash talk, but it's finally here after week 1. Cloud9 came into the split red hot. TL came into the split really bad. And now both teams have had their different pathways to fight each other again. Cloud9 have improved to literally 16-1 by this game. TL need to at least win this game to have a chance at getting to playoffs. A chance to get to playoffs. Now, this game, I'm going to say right now, this was TL's best game of the split. They played their hearts out. They really did well. I mean, you start off with the compositions of giving Impact to carry, which is still kind of suspect in general. I think that Jensen should have got the carry in this game. Impact had Aatrox. Broxa had Elise. Jensen had Ornn. Doublelift had Ashe. Core JJ had Braum. I like the composition from TL. You give a lot of comfort and you give a lot of damage in a lot of places. I think putting Jensen on Ornn was a mistake because he has been their best performer all year long. C9 draft Renekton, Olaf, Rumble, Varus, and Tahm Kench. Now, bot lane around 2 minutes in, it's pretty favored, all things considered. I know Doublelift said that Sven is not that good earlier on last year when they got rid of Sneaky, but he was getting handled there by my boy Sven. Sven was really trying to wreck him, but it's a bot lane where it's pretty much back and forth. You can't kill the Ashe with the Braum shield. You can't kill the Varus with the Tahm Kench Devourer. It's like, okay, get your poke. Whoever gets the jungler ganks is going to have the advantage. So, this is where I start questioning certain things in this game. Because around, let's say 3 minutes in, Jensen gets the Orin knockup combo onto Niski. Broxa should cocoon him right there. He doesn't have it because he previously used it on a jungle camp. Broxa flashes over, misses a point-blank cocoon. Niski and his fancy feet, as the Danish mid laners like to call that, avoid the gank. And then TL's, mid laner and jungler blow flashes. Blabber sees Broxa without that, and then it manages to get the cocoon down onto Blabber, but it doesn't matter. Licorice roams down first before Impact after shoving him in, and then Cloud9 get first blood. Now, that's when you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, it's C9's game, right? But Broxa goes to get a gank onto Licorice and actually kills him. Licorice almost evades the gank at 434, but, it's all TL right there. Later on, it is back and forth for a lot of these, team fights so far. I think that what the heck? I put playback speed normal. Oh my goodness. Playback speed on 2. So, later on during the game, you have a lot of attention going towards top lane because C9 likes to play towards top lane. Licorice dies again towards a top lane dive. I think moving to next split, I think if Broxa played around Impact a lot more, they would actually, have a lot more better of success. Impact actually does a lot of damage towards Blabber. Blabber ends up running away. C9's bot lane gets shoved in because their top laner dies. They don't really have to push at that current moment in time. And then Cloud9 gets another trade kill back onto, I think it was like Smithy? Not like Smithy. Oh my god, sorry. Impact, actually. No, he didn't die at that point. Broxa, sorry. No, Jensen. Sorry, they get another kill onto Jensen. Later on, they have the Rift Hero go top lane, and they, destroy the top lane turret. Impact played pretty well this game. There was a lot of great team fights in this game. I swear, this is TL's best game. They get a pickoff onto Sven, Niski, and Vulcan end up running away. TL start to take the mid lane priority in the turret. And then you have Blabber basically, running like a god into TL. And yeah, this game was absolutely incredible. I cannot describe how I felt during this game. A lot of people said that C9 only won because they didn't have Broxa early on in the split. And this game does show having Broxa did make a difference. But, you can't take away when somebody wins in general. You know what I mean? It's not someone else's fault that, another team won based on what they were doing, actually. You can't blame them. So, around 19 minutes in, Jensen was playing really well on the Orin. He gets a pick off onto the bot lane for C9, and the Niski Rumble pick was still doing pretty well. I think its equalizers were great. TL just started taking turret after turret, and the team fights were going all TL. I mean, I'm not being a simp fanboy in this game. It was all TL in this game. This was their best game all split long. They almost aced Cloud9. Get the mid turret. Go to Baron. Like, where was this TL at all during the split? And then later on, Cloud9 are like, okay, we're not going to lose these guys. We're going to start team fighting them back. And it still doesn't work. Impact flashes aggressively, knocks everyone up with the Aatrox. Now, where's this Impact been all split long? It doesn't matter. TL get another team fight happening with them. Now, at this point in the game, I think it's safe to say it was back and forth. C9 get another team fight in their favor. And then after that, it's basically, a lot of just trading back and forth, a lot of waves traded. Doublelift is getting pretty big on the Ashe. You'd think, like, Doublelift playing Ashe, like, what the fuck? He hasn't played that in forever. But he's not, him and CoreJJ have not been playing that well. So giving them a safe bot lane makes them a lot more safer of a late game insurance policy. 33 minutes in, TL get Baron. And, okay, I'm going to admit, TL and TSM gave Cloud9 their run for their money in the early game. They are two teams that can contest C9 based off the caliber of players. C9 get the Dragon, Jensen lines up the Orin Horn, and then after that, Niski shuts down Impact, the huge Aatrox. Broxa gets killed by Licorice, and then Doublelift and CoreJJ playing pretty well this game, actually. I think that C9, if they collapsed on them around 34 minutes in, really could have still turned the team fight. It could have aced them, but maybe they didn't think they could really win it, and then after that, you think to yourself, okay, it's not really safe to just die. I mean, you still have Braum Shield and Ashe just pumping out damage consistently, so, I mean, in that case, it's not that bad, personally. And, it's still TL. They're still 3,000 gold ahead, and then they have another team fight. Licorice gets into the backline, Blabber runs down Doublelift, and he gets a double kill into the bot lane. Now it's C9's turn to win. C9 winning one team fight puts him in the driver's seat. Now it's all tied up. And now C9, I'll obviously get to kill Jensen. He's on the wrong side of the map there, buddy. What are you doing? Why didn't you just run away when you're losing the team fight? Later on, C9, they finally get a Baron. Finally get a Baron. They get a mid lane push to open up the mid lane for them, because it's a lot easier to push down mid. And as you guys always know, GG open mid. That's how it works, baby. In a mid all day. Let's A-ram it down that shit. C9 start getting a little bit of anti-NTL's bot lane side of the map on their blue side. They start, getting minions prepped up for a lot of their waves. Vulcan and Sven, backdoor. Talk about an ending to this game. You get backdoor. Sven flashes away from Doublelift's arrow, finishes off the next hit, and that means C9 is 2-0 on TL. What a great way to end off this game. This was a great game. A lot of TL fans are kind of mad right now because they actually missed playoffs. They just need to win at least one game to at least get to playoffs. They don't win anything. They lose 2-0 FlyQuest and they lose to C9. This was a great game. They played their hearts out. You can tell they were really, really trying out there. I mean, a lot of people are going to say, oh, they had to backdoor TL to win. Shut the fuck up. You lost. End of story. If TL won this game, oh, it's C9's worst, right? Shut the fuck up. You lost. Done. Over. No more excuses. The C9 only won because they not Broxah. Shut the fuck up. You lost anyways. Brox is gonna fix TL. Doublelift, he had motivation problems. Now TL can be almost out of playoffs. Yeah, imagine telling yourself that many delusions and still believing them. No. People, when you have something blatantly right in front of you, it's probably true. Like when someone's cheating on you. If you see evidence of her cheating on you on her phone, she's probably cheating on you. You know what I mean? A lot of people have this convoluted delusion that, oh, this happened, well, this happened, well, this happened. Doesn't matter. Other teams beside them would be shit-talked out of their ass if they were like this. But it's TL. Gotta give him a pass, right? Back-to-back-to-back champions, right? No, you lost. You're out of playoffs. GG. Try for summer again. This could be just a classic, star players don't work out thing. People are saying Xmithy was the problem. Xmithy was the problem. People are trying because they were saying it like, Xmithy was the problem, and that's the reason why TL failed. I'm not going to repeat this 8,000 times. Broxah is a better player than Xmithy. I just believe that. And didn't IMT go 0-2 this week? Oh yeah, Xmithy's so much better. Like, get his cock out of your mouth. Now, the last game of the day is 100 Thieves versus CLG. CLG have been way out of playoffs. 100 Thieves have been looking a little bit better, all things considered. They had a really safe composition. Some days on the carry, you had basically Aatrox, Sejuani, Syndra, NA loves these Aphelios, Tom Kench bot lanes. CLG has the Camille, Pantheon. Pobelter had played the Echo. And then you have Varus and Braum. I think Pobelter played really well this game. I think moving forward, CLG should play with Pobelter. I think showing what Pobelter has showed this split fundamentally proves why he should start next split. I mean, if you disagree, I don't know what's wrong with you. I think Cody-san played out of his mind this game, landing those 3 roots onto Wiggly, Smoothie, and Stixay. He played bonkers on the Aphelios. I mean, if your Aphelios is your late game insurance policy and he gets 2 kills 5 minutes in, it's game. I mean, you'd think that Pobelter would be enough to push CLG over the edge. He actually wasn't. Ruin played pretty well this game. He's been looking a little bit more better here and there. 100 Thieves, around 23 minutes in, Pobelter tries to get a nice little Echo combo onto the team. It doesn't work. 100 Thieves start taking a lot more objectives, and then you get to a point where 100 Thieves is going to win the game, and this will also put them into a nice little playoff competition for second place with EG. And I think FlyQuest, right? TSM after this are completely locked into 5th, finishing 9-9. I mean, TSM finished 9-9. And didn't they finish 9-9 back in 2016 spring where they went to the finals? It's crazy. Deja vu, right? They could be a really strong team in playoffs. And I think that Cloud9's only competition in the playoffs will be TSM. It's not to discredit the other teams, but I think throughout history, it's consistently shown that TSM is Cloud9's only real competition for these teams so far. I don't think any of these teams are really that strong. Tomorrow, with their whole little bracket seeding going on, I don't think it's really going to matter too much. I think this split is all C9s. Give them the trophy when the finals come along. 100 Thieves, they're 29 minutes in, get a nice team fight. It's pretty back and forth with CLG, and they're 4,000 gold ahead. And then you have Someday on the carry, styling on Kits, getting them the win. Alright, so, with that being said, there's so many tiebreakers going into the next day. It's absolutely insane. Okay, so, here's how this looks. Dignitas and Immortals play first. Then you have 100 Thieves and FlyQuest playing for second. And then you have the winners of Game 1 fighting for that 6th playoff spot. And then you have the winner of Game 2 obviously fighting for the playoff spot in general. That is crazy. So basically, here's how it goes. Dig and IMT are fighting for the final playoff spot with Golden Guardians. 100 Thieves, FlyQuest, and EG are fighting for second. Now, based off the quality of gameplay I saw this week, I don't really care, honestly. So that's why I said part 2 is going to come tomorrow, because there's obviously literally 1, 2, 3, 4 more games for a Monday Night League, technically. So I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Wave Life Esports is signing out. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.